Bucky rumors swirling around, are they founded on actual evidence and truth, or are people trying to get clicks? What could possibly be triggering such a rumor if there wasn't smoke somewhere? Where there's smoke, there's fire. We don't know. I'll give you my take. A lot of it coming from Rondé Barber, who's saying that there's more going on, that he doesn't think Bucky will play again this year. But that's the only person we're hearing it from. Mike Florio spoke on it too, right? But I believe Mike Florio is just repeating what Rondé Barber said, and he's saying that he can't talk about it. We'll get into the details, but I mean, you got to prepare for maybe something being true behind all this. But if it's not true, Florio, Rondé Barber, you can never trust these guys again. It's a completely unfair thing to come out and make claims about somebody not coming back, but then stopping and falling short as to what it means and what you actually know. You shouldn't say anything. If you're sitting here like Florio goes on his show and he says, I'll tell you off air what is going on because I can't say it on air, but it's not good, but I can't tell you on air. And it's just kind of like reckless reporting. And Rondé Barber is saying this. Maybe he knows. It's hard to say. But like, why is he saying this without any sort of like evidence or without any sort of, clarification? Why say it at all? Now, is there something going on? We'll break it down. I'll tell you what I think. And then this Buffalo Bill Texan game. Wow, what a disaster fantasy wise. It was a good game at the end, but that was really, there were a couple good scoring players, but Josh Allen dropped a dud. Woody Marks played good. He just didn't get the ball in enough opportunities. He did good per carry, nearly 5 yards per carry. And Shakir exploded. Past that, we didn't have much going on. We'll break it all down and more of the Fantasy Football Show. Thursday Night Football reaction show. Bucky Irving panic chamber, potentially, or at least explanation as to why it won't be panic chamber time. One of the two begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So Rondé Barber goes on. We'll talk about the game in a second. Thursday Night Football game where the Texans embarrassed the Bills without even having that great of an offense. But this report by Rondé Barber, where he goes on the Rondé Barber show, his own show, and he says that there's a good chance Bucky doesn't play again this year, that there's a lot going on. He's got to get right. There's a lot of people saying things like mental health reasons that he could sit the remainder of the season. A lot of people talking about how he posts a lot of strange stuff on his IG, like got us a plan, things are, in motion, follow the plan will be fine. But a lot of players post that when they're faced with like an injury and they're out multiple weeks or longer, and they say, okay, trust the process. They're just kind of giving themselves hope, like, hey, I believe that this will be for a reason. And Bucky slowly started to like curb his post to make it look like, okay, it's time to come back. He's grateful instead of saying, I know there's a plan. And then now it's grateful posts. A lot of players post. I don't see anything weird about what Bucky's posting. The fact that anybody's saying he's posting weird stuff, I watch his Instagram pretty closely. And I think it's just normal behavior when you're coming back from an injury. But for Rondé Barber, who does have some inside information with this organization, potentially, could there be smoke or fire where there's smoke, or smoke where there's fire? Either way, it's hard to say. I do know that it's alarming to hear because Barber's putting his reputation on the line. If Bucky comes back next week or even remarkably this week, which I wouldn't count on, it's going to be embarrassing for Rondé Barber if he ends up saying that, oh yeah, Bucky might not play again and Bucky suits up next week. Everything that we've heard, and we could be being misled. How would it surprise anybody? Would it surprise anybody if we were being told later that Bucky's dealing with something? Let's just say this is what the rumors are suggesting, that he's dealing with some sort of mental health situation and he's not ready or right to play, whatever the case may be. And we saw this with Ridley. We've seen this before with players. Would it shock anybody that the team is not giving us all the information? No, it would not. It wouldn't even make me bat an eye. But do I feel like it's something that's not really fair right now to come out and say these things if you're not willing to say what it is that's going on? And yeah, Sean Tucker would go to the rise. And we love Sean Tucker. A lot of you would benefit from the Sean Tucker content on this channel. And a lot of you, unfortunately, would suffer with the Bucky Irving and non-Sean Tucker cuffing situation. If that's the case, there's gonna be good and bad from this for a lot of your rosters. And you just got to wonder, like, back to what I was saying, is it possible that there's information that Florio and Barber have that they're willing to come out and say it's there, but they won't say what it is? Or say something like Florio did, like, I don't think Bucky's going to hit the field, and I'll tell you off air I can't say anything. Like, I don't know, that it almost sounds like, that sounds like weird to me. It almost sounds fake to me. But who knows? It's hard to say what's going to happen, but if I had to give you guys an indication as to where I'm leaning, I'm not going to, like, get rid of them at this panic level. If you could get rid of them to somebody that's not going to react to this news and get somebody safer, I've been saying Rico Dowdle. We've been saying it for weeks. I've been saying buying Bucky on the cheap is a decent idea. It just is. Even now, I would buy on the panic. I'd buy on the panic if it was dirt cheap. If it was cellar dweller, it wouldn't hurt my team. I wouldn't lose a league at all if it didn't go right. But we've been saying for about 3-4 weeks now, trading Bucky instead of waiting on Bucky is probably the more advisable strategy. And now we're sitting here at this stage in the game. Now, I am very hopeful Bucky returns. I'm not saying that I'm leaning toward the direction of, oh yeah, this is definitely going to end up being true. What Florio and Barber are saying is going to be true. I'm not trying to say that tonight. And I'm not trying to say that I buy into it. But I'm kind of reserving more right than not to say, look, I think it's quite unfair to come out and say he probably won't return again, but I can't tell you why. Part of me feels like telling people that he might not return is just as bad as spilling the reason why he might not return. So you got to ask Rondé Barber, you're either giving people false information, or you're backstabbing whoever told you this, or backstabbing Bucky by announcing partially what's going on and then saying, oh, but I can't say what it is. Like, Barber's either a rat in the building or he's got the wrong information. I don't know that there's any other way to look at it, because he won't tell us what's going on. It doesn't seem like it's real fair to Bucky to be out here spreading this kind of nonsense if you're not going to go the full distance. If you're going to say anything, say maybe it's mental health. Say something. You know, I don't understand where and why this is coming this way. But it is what it is, and we got to be here to react to it. The only thing I can tell you is, one by one, case by case, we can literally try and answer each question individually. We can try and take what you're dealing with. Do you take this player over Bucky? Yes. Do you do what I've been suggesting for weeks and trade Bucky for Dowdle straight up? That was the smartest move to play probably 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. Go trade Bucky for Dowdle. Can you still do that? Can you give up a little something more to pay that kind of price to get that kind of value back and make somebody roll the dice on this situation? Because I promise you this, less people are interested in buying Bucky if you're in a league that can still trade, but there are still people that would want to buy Bucky. Now, I'm not trying to panic anybody, because the only reason I'm reporting on this right now is because it's getting so widespread. We talked about it during the 8 p.m. show. And my answer was, look, we don't have any information on this. It seems really reckless to be out here and trying to scare people into this situation. Like, you need to run away from Bucky. I can't say that. I'm not going to say that. But I'm also not going to say that there might not be some sort of problem here. And so, you guys, if you're going to spam the same thing over and over and over, I'm just going to put you in timeout. Because the chat doesn't need to see you say the same thing 15 times in a row. So stop doing that. 4 of you are doing that. You take a lap on Woody, my boy. Sorry, but I can't promise you when people are gonna deliver every single time. Bucky did very well. He had nearly 5 yards per carry. Didn't get the volume, but Woody looked fantastic per carry, per touch. He looked great. Almost had a touchdown as well. Things don't happen. Even if you started Josh Allen and you're mad about that. We had one question where someone was like, do I sit so-and-so? I think it was like Dak, Josh Allen. You can't sit Josh Allen. For every game you sit Josh Allen, you're going to sit him during that 6 touchdown game. You couldn't have sat Josh Allen walking into this game. Hindsight's always going to be 15-15, not even 20-20. But you got to continue to start your studs. Always start your studs. All right. What do we have here? We got some super chats. We're going to tackle those. Let's hit the news. Hit the game recap real quickly, and then we'll get more onto the Bucky conversation. This is the box score. Let's box score Bobby the hell out of this game real quickly. I do love the way Woody Marks looks. Woody is looking fantastic. It just sucks that this offense wasn't moving the football down the field properly. Nico 355 on the right-hand side, bottom right corner of the screen. Christian Kirk 5 for 54. Jaden Higgins 4 for 38 and a touchdown. Christian Kirk also got a touchdown. Davis Mills outscores Josh Allen. It's absolutely ludicrous. It happens. Woody Marks 16 totes, 74 yards, 4.6 a carry. Very solid, but those are the kind of games that when you get 100 yards and you get 10 points, there's no bonuses for extra points. You know, a guy can run for 100 yards and only get you 10 points. It just doesn't translate without touchdowns. On the other side of the fence here, James Cook did exactly what James Cook does. 17 carries, 116, a touchdown. Shakir, 8 for 110. Not much of note other than that Shakir line and Cook line because Josh Allen didn't do anything really except for a mass 253 yardage-wise, but 2 INTs, and then only had 20 yards on the ground. Got banged up 2 or 3 times during this game. Looked like he was going to be out for the game a couple times. Eyes, why don't you rewatch the 12 minutes that we talk about it? Because we literally broke down Bucky. So check it out. Rewind. Be kind. Rewind, Eyes. So not a great fantasy game for the most part. I mean, a lot of options on this board here to be fantasy football monsters. You got Josh Allen, dud game. James Cook, fantastic game. Woody Marks. Look, it ends up, I wouldn't call it a dud game, but it's definitely not what you wanted. It's definitely a mediocre performance, but solid running by him. Nico, dud game, but, you know, suffices. I guess you could call it the same game as Woody, just like, I guess, mediocre to dud, but not complete flop. Schultz, flop game. It's just Chubb. No one should be starting Chubb anyway. It's kind of a disappointing affair unless you have Shakir or unless you have James Cook. As far as the Bucky stuff, I'll answer every question I can in regards to Bucky. If you can still trade, we'll look into that. Should you be panicking on him? No, you should not. Not to the degree that I think Florio and Rondé Barber are trying to potentially make all of you panic into. That type of panic level is probably not advisable. Should you buy Bucky if you can still trade? It depends on how much panic is in the mind of the person that owns Bucky Irving. But I just think that this is a very, very touchy situation because you could overreact in the wrong direction, trusting somebody that's telling you something without telling you something, which it definitely could be the case. Sometimes when something like this, a seed is planted, the actual flower is actually, it does grow the way we thought it would. In other cases, it doesn't. It's hard to say. But I think everybody thinking he's done already, I don't know. I'm not there yet. Now, could it happen? Yes, I could definitely see something. But again, I don't trust Barber and Florio when they don't give us any information. They're rad enough to leak that he's maybe not going to play again this year. I'm not saying that's true, but that's what they're kind of hinting at. But they're not going to tell us any information. Then why say it? Like if you're gonna air that dirty laundry, but then not tell us what the laundry is, Is it a shirt? Is it pants? You're just telling us that there's laundry. And then you're like, but I can't tell you. Well, you're obviously ratting that out. So I don't know what to make. I don't know that I trust somebody that's gonna spill the beans from somebody that's probably told him not to say anything if it is true, and he's gonna say it and then not say it. I can't say what it is, but I certainly shouldn't say that it is something, but it's something. Like that to me, it doesn't pass the smell test, but doesn't mean it's not true. It just means it doesn't pass the smell test. I'm either going to be looking at Florio and Rondé and being like, what the hell's wrong with you guys if you're spilling the beans on this? And I don't even know if Florio's just repeating what Rondé said. You know what I mean? Like Rondé Barber said something and Florio's acting like it's like all these Twitter and Instagram pages that pretend they're news sources. They're like, according to my reports, you mean Schefter just reported it? You know, according to my reports, you mean because the beat writer said something before Schefter said it, so you've got sources? You don't have nothing. So I don't know. Does Florio have connections? Probably a little bit, but Florio's probably not as connected as you think because I don't think people trust him. And Rondé Barber, yes, he's connected, but why, again, is he saying something that he can't say anything about? Why say it at all? And the other thing, too, is like, yeah, to the point of some of the commenters, I'm not ready to go here yet, and I don't advise any of you to panic. I'm not saying don't do what I've been saying for 3 weeks. I've been saying trade Bucky for Rico for 3-4 straight weeks. But if you haven't, don't panic. I still own Bucky in a couple leagues. In a couple leagues, I couldn't get Rico. I couldn't get a player like that, so I held him, and I'm proud of that. So nobody should be panicking or over-panicking because why is he practicing? Why is he going through the run-throughs as the one? Why is he out there taking handoffs and they're giving Bucky the ball? And yes, they're all walking through. None of them are in pads. Like they say he needs to be able to get hit. They need to test the shoulder. We're being fed this information, and if it's all wrong, then why are they telling us any of it? Or did something unveil itself really recently and that's brand new? Maybe. But why is Bucky out there catching the ball and going through the walkthroughs in slow motion with the team as they implement everything? Why is he out there? I don't know. But I will say that Sean Tucker, if this does end up going this way, on the ride, Sean Tucker will be winning a lot of us leagues. Sean Tucker will be winning a lot of us leagues if we have Sean Tucker starting. No one's wishing that. I'm not wanting that. It's probably going to impact a few of us equally. Like we have Bucky teams, we've got Sean Tucker teams. We have Bucky and Sean Tucker teams, but we have probably some Sean Tucker shares in leagues where we didn't even draft Bucky. And we have Bucky in leagues where maybe you couldn't get Sean Tucker. You should have cuffed the two. This is the player that we talked about, Sean Tucker, all offseason as being the most dynamic backup in the room. And yeah, we've been wrong for most of the year. The team's been using Rashad White, but we've said it's been Sean Tucker all along. Sean Tucker is the monster. Sean Tucker's the sleeping giant. So there will be a lot of leagues won if in fact we go toward this direction. Dude has never mentioned Sean Tucker. Ken, why don't I just remove you from the channel? Because you don't know what you're talking about and you're telling people lies in the chat. So there you go. Bye-bye. Hope that comment was worth it for you. I've been talking up Sean Tucker the entire off season. Nice one. Nice way to use your lack of understanding of what the channel said to get you booted from the channel. So hope you enjoy the other channel. Go check him out. Go check him out, my guy. You can beg, can you unblock me later? Please, Smitty, unblock me. Jeez. All right. It's like, imagine saying that. Imagine saying that in a room where everybody's heard it. Like, how ridiculous would you feel walking into a room full of people that have heard it talked about, not only recently, but all offseason, as being the guy you should cuff. And the exact reasoning has been, not to mention the cuff board, that if you were to long-term think about the cuff is Sean Tucker. In the same context that a running back where you bring in a rookie and he hasn't quite grabbed the backup role, but you're thinking by the time the player may get injured later in the year as the mileage piles up, who's the backup you really want? It's Sean Tucker, not Rachaad White. Okay, let's hit these super chats. Then we're gonna open up phone calls because I think we got a lot of. Let me see if I got any 20s. I gotta tilt my amber max glasses down because it makes all of my super chat colors are different in my system, and sometimes I don't see it. I gotta go like this. It's not that I don't have bad eyesight. Like, Shuddy boy, do we have a super chat? It's because I gotta look without my orange tint. Got offer London for JMO and Wilson. I'd rather have London if I can wait. If I can't take an L on my boy, JMO it is, unfortunately. But you got to be careful. You got to be real careful. Trade my Gibbs Worthy for Chase Brown, Buka, and Stafford. Gibbs Worthy for Chase Brown, Buka, Stafford. Really, really tough call. Obviously, if you needed a quarterback really, really badly, that could weigh into this. And I love Buka. I love Chase Brown. I think I'm leaning Gibbs and Worthy, though. I'm not saying Buka is even remotely close to Worthy, but is Gibbs so far ahead of Chase Brown? In my opinion, I think he's ahead of everybody but JT. You have JT, CMC. You have Gibbs. You have a very select group of RBs that are in that realm. Achan's right up there. And that's it. And then it's a big fat tier break. Even though we love Chase Brown, it's a monster tier break. Whereas Worthy, he's not Buka. That's for sure. But, I think Worthy could surprise and be pretty damn productive. It could be. Trade Monangai and Worthy for JMO. A lot of JMO trades, Monangai and Worthy. I'd take JMO. I like Monangai a lot, but he's still a project, a what if, like Tootin has been for weeks and weeks and weeks. You don't know when it will happen. We hope Tootin gets a rise this week. Smitty put us on Sean Tucker. Thank you, Romario. Appreciate you. Last year. Thank you, Romario. AJB Fairbairn, BTJ rest of season. AJB, but I'm trying to trade AJB. But if I had to pick, could he revitalize? Yes. There's a chance. I definitely am starting AJB in flex situations still, even though there's risk. Hi, do we drop BTJ for a roster spot? It depends on what the ad is, Lucky. You got to tell me who you're picking up. Without context, I'm not just going to say drop BTJ. The answer is no. But if you told me, hey, Sean Tucker's out there, then that's a little different. Or, something like that. Then we got to consider what's the roster spot. But no, in general, I'm not going to cut BTJ in a vacuum. Sean Tucker season, best back on the team anyway. Smitty told you to cuff him to Bucky. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you, Zach, to the moon. Jack, appreciate you. 3 flex, Bijan, Brown, Warren, Jones, Devontae Adams. Traded Waddle and Kyron for Lamb. I'd take Lamb in a sense that, if I'm Adams traded. Okay, so you got Adams, you got Devontae Smith. I probably lean toward. Damn, man, this is tough. Bijan, Brown. Your running backs are good enough. It gives you that firepower on the other side. I don't trust Waddle to be consistent. Give me Lamb. Lamb's the best player in the deal. I'm going to say Lamb, but it's super close. And then also trade Bucky and T. Higgins for JJ. I think I would take that. I think with the chat, do we take JJ now? This is the kind of trade you can get. JJ might be the savior for anybody trading Bucky right now. Proof right here. He's got to give up Higgins as well, though. But does he do this? Does he take JJ, or is JJ not even that much better than Higgins, if at all? And then you just hold on to Bucky. Man, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Let's see the chat. Chat saying JJ. I would like to get a little more, something small with it, just so it's a quiet 2 for 2, but I don't know. Scotty, rewind. I go over it in tremendous detail. So just rewind and then come back after you watch the first 3 minutes. Daniel, appreciate you. I have Bijan, traded London for Ladd. I'm okay with that. I think you could get more because Ladd's on the down right now too, though. You know what I mean? But it's not the end of the world. And London could miss multiple games. My stable is Agbuka, Adams, Ladd, Jennings at 6-5, going to 5-5 after the Allen performance tonight. You mean going to at 6-5, going to 5-5? I think you mean going to 6-6. Smitty approved or desperation move? I don't know, man. I'd probably rather have, I guess, Ladd in a vacuum, but I feel like the fair market should get you more, a little bit more at least. I don't mind the maneuver. I just want a little bit more, but I'm okay with it if you did it. Because London, I mean, London's been so good, though. You know, he's got Cousins. It's all going to get dialed back a little bit. And we don't know if he misses like 2 games. He could miss 3 games. He could miss 1 game, but he can miss 2 or 3 games. So I'd probably say Ladd in a vacuum. Got offered Jamar Chase for my Kyren and Pickens. I'd rather have Jamar Chase if it doesn't matter what happens at all this week. But it's pretty close. If you have tons of depth, Simi Valley, like to where you can sacrifice, you know, like you're getting offered. Yeah. So you're getting offered Jamar Chase for your Kyren. So if you've got tons of depth and this is okay, like you could maybe sit Pickens week to week. That's how good your team is. This trade makes sense. You're trading in surplus. You know, you're trading with a bunch of overstock. But if you're literally going to be scrambling around for your flex play now, you probably want to keep Kyren and Pickens. And Pickens is playing so good. Is Jamar Chase really that much better than him? He's better than him, but is it worth the Kyren? It's not if you need those players in the lineup. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at your team. If you've got to scramble for that last player, then I'd say no. Have PPR 5 and 6. Start Tucker or Judkins. We need more information, but I think, you know, Tucker might be the safer call potentially, but let's play it out. I mean, Tucker's in the better offense. He's probably going to get some really, really good work, but we need more news on this. Trade Bucky for London. I probably would take the gamble of trading one hurt player for another, with London likely being out less time. But then again, man, what if he's ready to go next week? You're gonna kick yourself and London misses 2 or 3 games. It's a gamble either way. I probably lean toward the London side with the news, but I'm not overreacting on the news either. Gibbs, Rico, Judkins, Bucky, Tucker. I think Bucky for a receiver like JJ or something is a better, a receiver like JJ, or maybe Buka, maybe Rice. Maybe you give up a little something more to get it done. But if this is your only move, I'm okay with the London move, especially if you're not going to use, there's a chance you don't even use Bucky for a couple weeks because you're like, I don't know if he's going to be full go. Let me sit him for a week or 2. So I think you could afford that. Got Diggs for Sharps and Otten. I'd rather have Diggs right now, especially if you need a wide receiver. But I still like Sharps as a secret weapon. Trade away BTJ, MHA, and Burrow for Buka and Nix. I'd take Buka and Nix and probably run. It's a good trade. Nix is top 6, man. I would drop BTJ for either KCD or a tight end, Strange or Loveland. I probably wouldn't, Lucky. I think BTJ still got upside that at least rivals that value. You know, like Loveland's still sharing work with Cole Kmet. They still like Cole Kmet. He still serves a purpose. He still blocks a lot. They want him on the field for that reason. Loveland is going to be probably pretty inconsistent. I like him. He's a great grab, but he will be inconsistent. So I'm going to say no, negative on that one. Yeah, I mean, God, it's depressing to think about. What if we can't hit that Bucky button for the rest of the year like that? I was just about to take a swig of my, and I'm like, it makes me sick to my stomach to even feel like there's a chance to even accept the Florio and Rondé Barber theory. I would call it a theory. It's not news. To me, it's speculation. It's such speculation that neither one can say where it's coming from. But let me ask you this question, and you can, Travis, you can call in right now. I'll open the phone lines in a minute. I mean, Travis, if you're not available, no worries, no pressure. But I want to play out a scenario with you. I'm not saying Rondé Barber's news is going to be inaccurate. It could be accurate. It could be. But this is the way I'm looking at this situation. If, let's say, Travis tells me something in confidence, and I come out here and I say, I know something, but I can't tell you what it is. How am I going to look Travis in the face ever again when he told me something in confidence? So I don't know if that's it. Then Rondé Barber it's a miserable place to be. You just backstab somebody that gave you information. You know, you can't be trusted anymore. That's kind of on the verge of being a rat. To literally divulge something you're told not to say anything, falls short of saying what it is, but you're divulging it. Unless somebody said you can say this, but don't say what it is. Like, then that person's a rat, and you can't necessarily trust their information. And so up this thing goes, right? I highly doubt Rondé Barber sitting in the training room and he's got direct information to this. This is probably 8 degrees of separation. So again, back to my thing. If Travis tells me something really, really private or on the low, don't tell anybody, and I come out on the live stream right here and I go, hey, everybody, I got this information, but I can't tell you what it is, but it's bad. What is that? Like, how does that make sense? And so I just don't know that I'm buying this. And if he does have information and he's trying to come out with it, he would tell us something about it. Like, if it's really something that he dug into and it's not somebody that told him something personally, that he's like, damn, I don't want to backstab this person. My source will never trust me again. I'm not going to, if it's not that and he has actual information that he can speak to, why wouldn't he say anything about it? Why would he say anything at all? None of it makes sense to me. But it doesn't mean it's not true. It just means that he might be ratting out some information. That could be the actual, end result of this thing. I just don't know what it is. Some are saying, yeah, I've seen rumors of maybe he was involved in sports betting. Maybe he's got some mental health stuff going on. There's a lot of people spreading unfair rumors about this, and we have no clue what it is. Now, it does feel like the NFL keeps under wraps discipline that comes down on something like this. Like, if there's going to be, so I don't know that he even would have broke. It's like, oh, this guy's caught with some potential betting on sports or whatever the case may be, and he did it on the premises or whatever the case may be. We hear about it when it happens. It's not like it's leaking out through Rondé Barber. So I don't know if I buy that either. I don't buy any of it. My question is, if there is something that's going to stand in the way of Bucky playing ever again this year, it's got to be suspension related and not mental health, or he's stepping away, he's not right, because he's on the field in the walkthroughs with the ones. Like, how does that make sense? He's out there with he's practicing with the starters, walking through, and they're like, he's got to take a hit though in order to get on the. So how is it that? I don't know what it is. I don't know that it's anything. Travis, you're live. What's your take on this? Like, what's your gut say that is really going on here?
My gut says that there's something going on that we don't know, just because it seems like there's, like we said before, where there's smoke, there's fire and stuff, but it could be as simple as he can't take full contact to his shoulder. Like, he can take a little contact, he's trying to do it, and so they're trying to walk him through, and so the second he's ready, they put him right into the game plan. But it could be something else too, because it's just odd that, like, we're at this point now. Like you said, he's doing the walkthroughs and everything, but it's almost like he's like treading water with a walkthrough.
But would he be out there at all if he was so far away from taking a hit that, like, wouldn't they say, look, man, just sit out? Like, Sean Tucker, get in there. Like, why would the Bucs waste any reps, even walkthrough reps, even mental walkthrough reps, just to get right? Why would they waste it on Bucky if they weren't trying to get Bucky to play either this week, and then it probably won't be this week, but next week we'll get him in the rhythm. Like, you know what I mean? If he's never playing again this year, which is what which is what Rondé Barber is trying to insinuate, and what Florio seems to be latching onto and somewhat insinuating. How could it be? How could it be that? How could it be that he's so far away that this team is still putting him out there on the field with ones and walkthroughs?
I'm wondering if it's something, because you hear this sometimes too, where it's like the team and the doctor and everything, they've cleared him. They say there's, no structural damage. You're not going to hurt it anymore, whatever it may be. But he isn't ready to do it. He doesn't want to take the hit. He's not comfortable taking the hit. Something along those lines. So
I don't know.
the team is trying to get him out there. I don't know. I don't think we can do anything but speculate,
Yeah, but I
what
also
we have.
I also think there's a lot of truth to the fact that like I'm just trying to imagine if you gave me information and I was going to breach the confidence that you're giving me this information, come out here and just barely reveal it. What's the point in ruining that relationship, burning that source, and not even telling anybody anything?
What if Bucky's the source and he's pissed at the team that they're trying to push him?
I don't know why he would betray Bucky, and I doubt Bucky'd say, hey, go ahead and go out there and tell him that I might be done for the year. That would still be betraying Bucky and then falling short of telling anybody what's going on. I like, none of it makes sense. I still think it, yes, I do believe it's an odd situation. Caps is right. This is still a very odd situation. Very low key, don't hear anything. No updates. Don't even hear beat reporters asking the right questions at the right time. It's almost like there's a bunch of puppets in the media room and we just don't know that we're being played for fools because it doesn't even feel like we're getting that much information at all. I don't know. My gut tells me that, yeah, you're right. I do think something's off, but my gut tells me that Rondé Barber might be speaking out of turn, because if he had direct information, and let's say Bucky, the closer you are to the situation, the less likely you're going to do what Rondé just did, which is spill the beans and then try and put the beans back in the can. That's what Rondé did. And I think if he had heard this directly from Bucky, from the coach, from somebody direct, like almost no degrees of separation, he wouldn't have even talked about it. But I think he's so far away from it, whatever he's spilling, I don't think he even knows how accurate it is. He heard it from somebody that heard it from somebody that heard it from somebody that's speculating. It's 3, 4, 5 degrees of separation, like telephone game. And by the time it comes around, it's all skewed. But I don't know that I'm going to suggest that anybody not take advantage of Rico Dowdle 1-for-1 swap, because I've been saying take that for the last 3 or 4 weeks. But do I go and sell Bucky Irving for just Hampton, who's not back yet either? Like that's where we start saying, look, we got to look at this and look at your team, look at everything, and then maybe make a very, very strategic call. But I have people that are like talking about, what do I bench? Do I cut him yet? Like, you can't do that. You can't react like that way. No. You can't get rid of him for Jaylen Warren. You can't get rid of him for Michael Wilson Jr. because he had such a big day in week number 11. Like, you can get rid of him for Judkins. I'd understand that, and I'd probably Smitty approve that. Derrick Henry, sure. Pickens straight up, why not? JMO, we want a little more, but like, I'm okay with the concept of maybe saying let's get you out of this situation, especially if you can't afford this week and maybe one more week. In a best case scenario right now, at least, and this could change, the wind could shift, but in a best case scenario right now, Bucky plays next week. That is a best case scenario. There's still a scenario that's not the end of the world scenario, but he misses 2 weeks. And can you afford that? Anybody sitting on Bucky that couldn't afford that 3 weeks ago sure as hell can't afford that this week and next week. But if you're at 8 wins, you're locked into the playoffs, why sell them for pennies on the dollar?
Yeah, I think if I have them, I'm holding them because, unless you get some stupid offer from somebody, or like you said, a Dowdle or something like that, just because of the upside. But in terms of buying them, me personally, I always say, for transparency, I'm more risk averse when it comes to injury and stuff. And I'm more of I try to lay things out logically. And so it's like the confusion, the injury, the miscommunication, Tucker's playing well. Like, there's too many things for me to want to buy him at like anything more than bottom barrel prices.
Sean Tucker is a league winner if you're sitting. If this ends up going, let me ask Kruger a question here. Kruger, first of all, what kind of buzz is out there on Bucky Irving right now, who's recovering from a shoulder injury? I don't need you to tell me that. He's recovering from an ankle injury. That should be okay. We're heading into week number 12 of the NFL season. I don't need you to tell me that he needs to take a hit or they're not sure if his shoulder's right. What I'm asking you about are the rumors today from Michael Florio and also Rondé Barber, the former NFL player that has ties to the Bucs organization, talking about maybe Bucky's taking his last snap of the year, that he might be done for the year, and it might not even be football related. It might be football related. I need you to dig deep and find anything on that, not the shoulder. Go.
Smitty, I've got the scoop for you. So basically, Mike Florio and Rondé Barber are both kind of confirming there's a bit of a non-injury buzz around Bucky Irving. They're suggesting he might actually be done for the year for reasons that aren't just about his shoulder or ankle. So
I just said
some chatter that it could be something off-field.
I just said that. What can you find? What possibly could it be? What do the rumors look like? Don't just repeat what I said like a parrot.
Absolutely got it, Smitty. So digging a little deeper, the rumor mill is basically speculating that it could be something personal or a team-related conduct issue. There's a bit of chatter that maybe there's some internal team discipline going on, or possibly something family-related that's pulling him away. It's all pretty vague, but the core rumor is it's not an injury and it's something off-field.
Well, also, what do you believe the confidence level is in accuracy or being wrong or being, clickbait like Michael Florio? If you have a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being he's a clickbait artist and a fraud of information, and 1 being he's a fraud and a clickbait artist, and 10 being he's a glorious, accurate man. Give me your ranking on Florio.
All right, Smitty. I'd say if we're putting Florio on that scale, he's probably somewhere around a 6 or 7. He's definitely not the king of all clickbait, but he does lean into the dramatic sometimes. So he's not a full-on 10 of trustworthiness, but...
Vote in the chat. Vote in the chat. Okay, now do the same thing with Rondé Barber. What's the likelihood of Rondé Barber, if he says, I can't tell you what the info is, but I think he's taken his last snap? Give me a confidence scale, 10 being he's completely accurate, 1 being it's a clown show.
All right, doing the same kind of scale for Rondé Barber, I'd say he's a bit more reliable when it comes to these kinds of whispers, especially since he's got some of those inside ties. So I'd probably put him around a solid 8 out of 10 on the confidence scale. If Rondé's hinting at it, there's a pretty good chance there's some truth to it.
Hey, why didn't you yell 6-7 with a real long 6-7 when you said that? I mean, whenever you use the word 6 and 7 back to back, I want you to scream 6-7. Go try it again. Redo it.
Oh, absolutely, Smitty. Let me fix that. So when I say it again, I put Florio about a 6-7. There you go, nice and stretched out. And for Rondé Barber, he's a solid 8. But anytime we hit a 6-7, I'm on it.
All right, I don't know about that. I'll say this. I don't know. Kruger just repeats things that I say sometimes, and especially if I set him up a little bit. I think. What do you guys rank Rondé Barber in trust factor? 10 being you trust him entirely, 1 being you trust him 0. Clown show. And put Barber and then the number, and then put Florio and the number.
And like I don't watch Florio and Barber enough, to know what their track record is. But like you were saying with Barber, like it's almost like it's got to be a 1 or a 10 with him, because he's either just spewing bullcrap to try to get something right off something he heard whispers of, or he's locked in and he has something.
You know what? Like, think about it from this perspective. Again, Travis, if you had insider information, you said my dad works for the Bucs. I never told you this, but my dad was sitting in a meeting and they were talking about when they were putting him on IR, tomorrow or the next day. Let's just say that was the case. And I had that. It was that good of a connection. and you said, "Don't tell a soul." I can't. I'm in a box. If I tell somebody, you and I never speak again. Like that. So Rondé can't be that close to it. He can't be. And if we sat down and you said, "Look, I have a buddy that told me this, whatever," and I don't know how accurate it is. You might want to be. We don't really even know what it is for sure, so I can't give you that. You're going to look like a fool if you speculate. But I know it's something bad. And then I say, can I say it on the air? He's like, just don't use my name. Okay, so I can say it on the air. Yeah, you can say it on the air. That is so far away from like the source at that point. That's the only way that this plays out. That you don't know what it is. You don't even know what it is. Like, I don't even think Barber knows what it is. If Barber knew what it was, then he's so close that he wouldn't betray confidences. And the only other thing that could possibly be the case here is that he does know he doesn't want to spill the beans because he's trying to do the right thing even. But then again, why would you bring it up? So, like, there's so many confusing aspects of it. And the only other thing it could be is, like, he knows what it is. It's coming out. He was told he could say something because the person that told him it won't be identified as them, and they don't mind it spilling out for whatever reason. Maybe they like the fact that the Bucs have bad media. I don't know. But he doesn't know exactly what it is yet, so he can't say anything clarifying on it. I don't know. There's a lot of ways it could go, but to me, if in my example of Travis, thank you, Ray, for dropping the gifted membership. In my example of Travis, if I was so close to the situation, Travis told me something in confidence, and I was spilling part of it, we'd never talk again. Like, I don't think whoever Barber's ratting out, either said go ahead and do it because it can't be tied back to me, or it's so far away that yeah, it's not going to be as accurate. I don't know.
And the only other minuscule thing it could be, like I said, would be like Bucky really disgruntled with how they're dealing with it. But if that's the case, then there's a whole nother like can of worms. He's got a problem with the team, and that like I don't think it's that, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. And someone's saying, but like, I see a lot of you guys saying like Barber's in the Bucs universe, in the Bucs world, so it's not like he's a nobody. I get that, but it doesn't mean that he has information. And if he's connected to the universe of everything Buccaneer, don't you think he's putting his foot in his mouth and he's ruining his connection? Yeah, and if you're making this owner, Bulls, the GM, everybody involved look like a fool because you're leaking the information before they have a chance to address it, you're never going to be a part of the Bucs world. So either he is outcasted from the Bucs world and this is his revenge, which means it's not rooted probably in as much truth as it could be, or the Bucs organization literally wants him to say half truth right here or tell half the story. I doubt that. So I'm just saying it doesn't smell. It smells funny, the whole Bucky situation, no doubt. I admit that. But this smells just as funny. I think it's wild. It's just a wild situation. And who knows, and I'm not trying to say this won't end up going the negative way, but this is definitely something that I think is, we don't have all the information. Neither does Barber, neither does Florio. I can't speak for them. I think, Florio is a smart guy. I will tell you that. He is a smart guy. But he is dramatic, and he is about, Kruger just gave him a rating of 6.7. That's not the best rating in the world. You go out and shoot 6 free throws out of 10, you're going to lose your team a game. So I don't know what to say here. And it does feel like Florio's using what he heard from Barber. I can't even guarantee that. But then where did Barber hear? Barber's telling us half truths. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure I'm buying it, but would I trade Bucky? Yeah, I've said that for 3-4 weeks. Trade him for Rico, trade him for Adams, trade him for Javonte Williams, trade him for Judkins, trade him for Henry, trade him for Barkley, trade him for Breece Hall, trade him for Hampton and something. Those are all really good options and options that have been good for 3 weeks.
And on the flip side, these things will make people panic. So if you're a good enough team and you have enough depth to go and offer something low ball, go and do it if you can afford to, afford the work.
He's a buy, a hold, and a trade equally. Just depends on your angle.
Did you see Joseph sent 5 gifted memberships?
Joseph, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, young man. Joseph to the moon. Man, this is wild. I mean, bad Thursday night game, some bad Bucky rumors. We don't know if they're true, but they certainly don't feel good. You know, they certainly sting a little. But I don't know. I'm looking at some of the chat messages and see what you guys, think in the chat. But, a lot of you, I could see, are excited about Tucker and you want it to be, you want it to go a certain way. And then some of you have Bucky and don't have Tucker, so you want it to go a certain way. So I get it. But, it is what it is. There's just a lot of ambiguity here. And it doesn't matter what anybody says. Nobody knows. Nobody knows, and nobody's been told, and everybody's speculating. And all the people out there that are pretending they have insider information off of this, they're just trying to get clicks. There's nobody that has the information. And if anybody had it, you'd be hearing from Schefter or Rappaport or at least ESPN's, Palantonio. I don't know. Let's see here. So let me read this. If you, I don't think this is what Florio said, quote, I don't think he's going to be back anytime soon. Definitely more information than what's available in the injury report. But again, that is kind of what Barber said. One of the two are speaking off of the others. Let's say that. And then,
Right.
And then crazy Instagram posts, are starting to make a lot more sense now. A lot of people are talking about Bucky's Instagram posts. And Bucky said this, God gave his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers. Don't cry for me when the war is over. So he's quoting scripture and things like that, which is not uncommon. And I think some people are reading the scripture are like, people get uncomfortable and they're like, why is it saying this? And what a lot of people post that when they're going through adversity. Bucky Irving posted a story post that said, thank you, Lord. And it shows, a singer singing a song. And it's, what song was it? I forget what it was. It was, I'm into you. Is that, what's that? Who sings that song? I'm into you. That girly song, whatever. So there's a picture of the girl singing on his Instagram stories. And so Bucky posted that. That was 14 hours ago. And no one knows what he's posting, why he's posting it. Is he going through something mentally? It's possible. I would not use the scriptures and the posts about thank you, Lord, and things like that as I think anybody saying that those sound crazy. That people do that all the time. But we'll have to see. We'll see if it ends up being mental health. It's either mental health if something is non-football related. It's either mental health, or it could be potentially some sort of something he took during the process, and they're going through that right now, and it was a not approved. I'm not saying it's that. I'm just saying it's either going to be that, like a substance that was, and no one's saying he did something weird. No one's saying he did anything at all. But it's either some sort of substance. Maybe he got caught up in it and he didn't know. It's not as whatever, and they're working through that. It's mental health, which it certainly could be, and that takes you off guard because we didn't see the Ridley thing coming. We didn't see a few things coming that have struck us, and we're like, whoa, and taken aback. And then we've had, and then the other thing would be that it's just injury related and it got worse or something. But the fact that he's going through walkthroughs doesn't make sense that he needs a break. Maybe he needed a break. Maybe he needed a week or two. And now he's back. And this is the remnants of, this is why it took longer. That could be the case too. But again, if he's not coming back, if he's not right mentally, and maybe he's not right mentally, and the team's like, we kind of don't think he is, and he thinks he is, and we don't think he is. And so we're going to ask him to step back or whatever. That could be the case too. But I don't know why he would have been out there in walkthroughs. with the starters. If it was that bad, if the team was reacting to it already, it was so bad the team's like, we're going to ask him to take time off, or he wants to take time off. Why is he out there? None of it makes sense. But everybody's speculating. Yeah. Everybody's saying it's mental health. Everybody's saying it's, betting on sports. We don't know. It could be any one of those things or none of them. We don't know. But everyone's trying to be the one that breaks the news. I don't believe anybody. Because no one is going to have this information. And if they did, why are they ratting out half of it?
And what did when Florio said something I heard when we were in Philadelphia? Was that just because he was there covering a different game or something? Because they haven't played, Bucks haven't played Philly since the season.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But yeah, the mental health thing is odd because, like you said, why would he be out there like yesterday and today if they're planning on, even if it was a team planning on asking them to step back, and then they're hearing this whispers are getting out, they're going to address that and nip it in the bud.
This show's been on repeat for 20 minutes. Then don't watch. If you don't like the conversation, Trevor, then go watch something else. I mean, everybody else is pretty interested and entertained on this thing. We have 900 people in here that are very, very wondering what they need to do. So if you're all set, Trevor, we'll see you later. Come back whenever you want. I don't know, bro. I don't understand I don't understand why. I don't understand why Florio or it just none of it makes sense at all. It just doesn't. I'll open phone lines here in a minute. DJ, I saw you call. I'll let DJ get in here. DJ, you can call back one more time. Phone lines aren't open yet. Let me get through this real quick. 12 team Superflex 7-4. Allen, Saquon, Genti, Rice, Buka, Burrow, IR, Ayuk. Last second trades. I like your squad, except for I would be very intrigued by trading Genti and AJ Brown for one monster. James Cook, I've been saying all week this week, all week last week. I don't know that that's possible now. So you got that, unfortunately, off the table. That was probably the biggest recommend, go get running back, because he was cheaper than he should be. James Cook had no business being attainable for an AJB and Genti, and now he's not. That's off the table. Probably can't get an A-chain, probably can't. You get to a point where it's like there's not even a lot of great names left that are in between. You almost got to go like Dowdle and another player and make it a 2-for-2. Judkins and another player make it a 2-for-2. Both of them for Bijan, but not going to probably happen. I think Cook was like one of the last remaining you could get one player in that type of situation that belongs in the having a cup of coffee with the RB. Top 5, 6, 7 RBs, and now that's done. Trade my Henry. So try doing those creative 2-for-2. Dowdle is one of my favorite. This might be the last week you can get Dowdle. Dowdle is my favorite go-get player. Trade my Henry and Lamar. I love getting Lamar right now. Trade my Henry, London for Ladd and Dowdle. I love how the player I'm talking about is always in the next question. Trade my Henry and London for Ladd and Dowdle. This is a tough one, man, because you're predicting the London situation, and not only has he been amazing this year, he's even when he's come back, he's been amazing. Like he's been a top, I think, two wide receiver like 3 times, top 2 wide receiver. I think 3 times if I remember correctly. It might be number 1 multiple times. I would probably lean toward Ladd and Dowdle right now. I think Dowdle is much better than Henry, and Ladd is safer than London. However, it could go 100 different ways, my man. I mean, Kirk Cousins could play a little better this year than he did last year. Maybe he was just rusty because he went straight in and it just didn't work. And now he prepares and he'll be okay, and he'll actually be more mobile, and maybe he starts throwing touchdowns. But last time we saw him, he couldn't score. I think he went 4 or 5 straight games without a passing touchdown. I think it was 4 games without a passing touchdown. I think then threw one and then didn't throw another one the next one, or I forget what it was. But Kirk is not necessarily a secure touchdown producer for London anymore. So London might score like 2 touchdowns the rest of the year. I mean, it could be more. It could be surprising. Like you said, maybe he just played badly last year because of the Achilles, and now he's better. But I'd take Ladd and Dowdle personally. But it's a close call. Have Waddle, Diggs drop 1, BTJ, QJ, DJ, Trey, Tucker. I'd probably drop Trey Tucker right now. He's on a horrible offense, so like what can he really do consistently for you? Ridley was out for mental. He wasn't at practice. Yeah. See, Bucky doesn't fit that. But if Bucky leaves for mental situation, then I think it's the team saying, we think you need to take some time off, and Bucky's in la-la land, and they're just like, what in the hell's going on with this guy? That's the way it would be for me. I can't envision Bucky wanting to take a break when he's out there when the walkthroughs and any chance he gets.
There's a new tweet. Bucky Believer, the guy in the chat, found it, and he said he'll call in if the phone's open too. But from a beat writer from Tampa, Rick Stroud, and he just tweeted 12 minutes ago. He said, Bucky Irving needed some mental health support from what I can gather following his injury. I'm told he's trending toward playing in the very near future. It won't be Sunday, however. Not sure I agree with Florio's claim that he doesn't expect Irving Jr. anytime
Yeah,
soon.
and so that lines up more with what I was saying, that these guys don't know anything. They're getting the remnants of what already happened. You know, like Bucky was dealing with something. Maybe a close relative died, and we don't know when he had dealing with the injury and that at the same time. But what I was saying a few minutes ago was doesn't match up. Like, and as I said, maybe something happened, but it's no longer in play. We're just hearing about it, and then Florio and Barber are attaching themselves to what had already happened that's now over. And it's not playing out anymore. Maybe he did need a week or two off. Maybe it's not even as big of a deal. I mean, everybody's getting a little too in this mental health bag, like as if like you can't. I mean, these guys still have a job. Like a lot of you can't just say, I'm taking off work. I'm not going into work anymore. Like they still have to work. If you need a week, you need whatever. He probably took it. Maybe it was too taxing, but he's got to get back to work. Everybody's got to work. I get stressed out. I can't take any mental health day. I got to be here for you guys doing it live.
It seems like this Bucky Believer guy in the chat.
Well, he's a Bucky. His name's Bucky Believer. His name's Bucky Believer. Are you really going to believe a thing Bucky Believer tells you?
He was right. He was right about the tweet. So I got to give him credit for that. So,
yeah. Well, that's out there. There's a lot of stuff out there.
He said it was his mentor that passed away, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but Bucky Believer is going to be a little pro Bucky.
Yeah.
Poppy's a little sloppy. Okay.
I just want to give him credit for the tweet. That's all.
Hold on 1 second. Just traded my Judkins and Darnold for Saquon. I would rather have Judkins, I think, over Saquon with the injuries to the offensive line, the way they've been playing all year anyway, the turmoil in Philly, the boringness of that offense. I'd rather have Judkins over Saquon. But I've said that pretty much for the last handful of weeks. I think it's an interesting swap. I don't hate it. You're not going on a lap or anything. But I do think that there's pros and cons to it. And I think Judkins has a limited offense, but so does Barkley. In a way. So hard to say. I do think Barkley could have a nice little finish, and I did say that weeks ago, and I still think it's a really good buy low though. But is Judkins a buy low, or a good sell for that? Is that buying low? I don't know. I like Judkins a little more, so I would go get Barkley if I was getting something. But I think Judkins has more value personally. Trade my Henry in London for Ladd Dowdle. I answered that one already. I go Ladd Dowdle, but it is a very, very close call. And then the last super chat to catch up would be my Bijan for Rico and Jettas. I'd take Rico and Jettas and not look back. Doesn't mean that it can't work out the other way. Very much love Bijan. I don't think Bijan gets knocked out of the top 5 or 6 running backs, but I don't know that you can say with a straight face he's running back 1 or 2 in fantasy because his offense just took a kick to the sack. I can't imagine they're in the red zone even remotely close to as much. I can't imagine that Bijan is at the 5-yard line and the 9-yard line and the 7-yard line and the 2-yard line. Not to mention you got Algier taking some of that anyway. So, like, what does that mean? It means Bijan's got to do everything by himself, break away long touchdown runs. Smitty, he can do that. Can he? He can. But with Kirk Cousins, maybe not. Because last year, Bijan was one of the worst running backs, one of the bottom few running backs in the league that could not break off long runs at all year. And that wasn't on him. We knew he was better than that. It was Kirk Cousins. It was the offense. It was this pathetic offense of the staff that needs to be removed immediately. And hold on, I got two more super chats. My Bijan. Okay, so the boys in the chat said do it, and I'm number one team. My Bijan for Rico and Jettis. Yeah, I'd say do it as well. I agree. And at the worst case, bro, I mean, one of them is going to compete a little bit with Bijan. And so you're getting two tries. I have Bucky, Achane, Saquon, and Hampton. Do I ship off Bucky? I would go for JJ. I'd go for Buka. I'd go for a wide receiver, Adams even. I think it's a really, really smart move for a team like yours. Not to mention you could potentially, you could potentially get something that could bounce back and be a masterful, move even if Bucky returned. Smitty, I traded Benson and Michael Wilson for Drake London. I don't hate that trade. I think there's risk on all sides. Team is Lamar, London. Yeah, I think that was a great move. Smitty approved that trade. Lamar, Hendy, Rico. It's a great team. CD, JMO, London. London in that kind of situation is a really nice secret weapon. All right. All right, I'll open the phone lines real quick. Travis, did you have anything else real quickly before I open the phone line?
Oh, no. Release the hounds. Let them go.
Okay. Are we in or out on Bucky? I mean, I talked about it for an hour and 6 minutes. I mean, people telling me that I'm repeating myself. Got off for Lad for him. I would definitely hold him over Lad, I think, right now. But that could be a risk that you got to be willing to potentially take, because what if he doesn't play again and you could have got Lad? You'll be mad. But I think right now I'm not willing to bank on him not coming back. I just don't know that this is accurate information. We got the Blind Swordsman on the phone. Blind Swordsman, what can I do for you? You're live.
I didn't know if it'd pop up like that or not.
Of course it would.
Let's go. So you want to know, not that my opinion means a damn thing, but you know what I think about acting like that? Sounds a hell of a lot like, RC talking about Peter Strager saying you've never been in the locker room and you don't know what's going on. But anyways, I know I'm a broken record over here with Drake London, but I've had people offer me left and right over the last few days. Would you take, I'm going to rapid fire for a second, London for Sutton and Tootin?
London for Sutton and Tootin. London
Trade deadline is
by
on
a
Saturday.
lot. Huh?
I said the deadline's on Saturday, so
I mean, I want London. I want London.
Yeah. Okay.
Not close.
And then what about Bijan for Dowdle and Waddle?
Say it one more time. Bijan what?
Bijan for Dowdle and Waddle.
Down on Waddle. I take, wow, if I could get a different receiver, I don't really love Waddle like everybody else. I would say I'd keep Bijan in that case, but Dowdle and a Adams, Dowdle and a Buka, Dowdle and a Rice, Dowdle in one of those players, definitely. But I'm just not Waddle. I'm borderline. I feel like somebody asked me that and I've wavered on it a little bit. But I think Waddle's pretty decent, but I think I want a little bit different receiver. All right, last one. Then we got to get back to the
last one. No, I'll let you go there. Just rapid fire. And I've got a few friends listening. I told them about the Blind Swordsman. And, they all are tuning in live.
Yeah. Hey, Swordsman, what do you predict happens here with Bucky? Give me your prediction.
I bet he's back for the playoff stretch.
You bet he's back for the playoff stretch?
Mashed potatoes!
Thank you, Swordsman.
Yeah, buddy.
Ask your buddies what I just did. All right, appreciate you, bro. To the moon, pal.
Salute.
You're the man.
Good night.
Later. I love the Blind Swordsman. He's one of our new favorite callers. I know he wanted to go through a gauntlet of different things, but I wanted to get back to the Bucky stuff. Hey, Blind Swordsman, if you got another question or topic or whatever related to Bucky, you can call back in. Kyle Trask just signed with the Falcons if Kirk can't throw. Oh, yay.
That's rough.
Florio just trying to get Bucky in his league. Probably, bro. We in or out on Bucky, got off for Lad. Again, chat, vote Lad or Bucky. I don't think anybody in the chat's going to be giving up. I don't know. I love Lad, but you could regret that. There's no doubt about it. Phone lines open, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
A few of you are very borderline going to be put in like a 24-hour timeout if you keep saying some of the wild things you're saying. Stop running your mouth in the chat with disgusting language and different things that you're saying, or the mods are going to put you in a minimum 24-hour timeout, if not remove you from the channel. So if the channel is important to you, start cleaning it up and keep. This may not be a family chat or a family show, but we all have families. Okay, so we're just like Rondé Barber's 5 degrees of separation from the actual news. We're 5 degrees of separation from an actual family show, but we still have a connection to it. All right, DJ, you're live.
10 gifted memberships. From,
10 gifted members. Who? Demo? Demo, thank you, pal, for the 10 gifted. Guys, thank Demo if you got one. All right, go ahead, DJ. You're live.
Demo, thanks for the gifted. Demo, thanks for the gifted. Good stuff. Best show on the planet. Some of us have like selective listening. So, when we were talking about Bucky, it tickles me when the gentleman said, so what are we doing about Bucky? Called selective listening.
Some people will like just join and they're like, hey, they're lazy. They're like, catch me up. What happened? It's like I know you want to be in the live chat, but just rewind for like a minute and then come right back to the live show and you'll be fine. But like some people want me or others to like stop and explain the whole thing. It's like, this is like the person that doesn't wait in line for the left turn lane and they try and come in right at the end. Like no one wants to let you in. All right, go ahead, DJ. What's your take on this? Exactly. What's your take on this?
The Bucky situation. I think you hit the nail on the head with regard to the fact that this is a business, right? So, and even short of that, when you have a business, especially like the NFL, not everything is what it is until it isn't. So, no, you show up, you do these things. Now, the Florio and, the Barber, a secret is not a secret anymore. Whenever you say, hey, listen, between me and you. Now, you do want to use discretion, right? So this Barber thing, I don't know how relevant he really is as it relates to that world. So he's swinging his bat, so I think there is some teeth to this. Bucky may be back for the home stretch. But if it is indeed mental health, I hope the guy gets, that help. But I wouldn't put any real weight in it until you shouldn't. And it could be dependent upon your record, right? As to what you and how you might move, Bucky.
Jack, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Yeah, I hear you. No, I don't know. The thing again, mental health. The only way this is him stepping away from mental health. This is what I said at the beginning, and Bucky Believer in the chat pointing out that tweet. The tweet said exactly what I was saying. The only way this could be mental health, as I said, is if it was in the past mental health, and Rondé and Florio are catching up, and they unfortunately are catching up late, and they think it's in the current. Because if Bucky needed time off, he wouldn't be out there taking mental reps. He wouldn't be out there taking walkthrough reps, slow motion reps. I get it. But you wouldn't be, and nor would the team put him in a position instead of getting Sean Tucker ready. So I'm not saying that Bucky plays this week, and I'm not saying he for sure plays next week. But if this is trending, unless this just happened like tonight and Bucky from today's practice decided to go and he needs time off and he was going through the motions. He was hiding his emotions. And he's like, I'm out of here, coach. I can't do it. And like that could be the case. And then that would make sense. But it all feels like they're talking about something that already happened. They're literally, the ball already went into the catcher's mitt and now Florio and Barber are swinging. That's what it feels like. But well, who knows? I think it's hard to say.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. But even in just, the work world, regardless of your niche or, business environment, I think you could be right in the sense that maybe the time that he has been away.
Get wrecked. Thank you for 5.
Injury could have included some pathway and help towards getting him on the track. But to presume that even him being out there says he's through it, even in a normal workforce, and speaking from experience, it's not anything until it's anything. So it's a fine line.
It's a double talk, DJ.
No, I'm just saying it's a fine line.
I know. I'm not ripping on you. I'm just saying it sounds like HR. It sounds like you're doing a little HR double talk.
Exactly. That's right. And look at how we're talking about it. We're like, oh, he's out there, because again, this is $1 billion business, and we all it's a job. So who knows without
crossing lines and saying something that someone's going to get mad at me about. Okay, so I'm trying to say this as gently as I can. Look, I believe in mental health, wellness, and all that too. I do, but part of me is a little more old school than the average bear. Doesn't mean that like your father or your mother, a direct family member like getting sick or passing away, couldn't put somebody on the shelf for 2 or 3. Totally understandable, but like I feel like I don't know. I feel like we're just in a different time frame than I'm used to, where everybody's got this like defense for everybody that needs to take time off without even knowing what they're going through yet. It's like, bro, this is a serious thing. All I hear people tell me is, Smitty, you got to tread lightly on this topic about Bucky because he's going through something right now. You don't even know what he's going through. What if he's not? What if he's going through something he should be able to handle? We don't know. Like, I just feel like, I don't know. I grew up in a different time. You put a Band-Aid on it. You get back out there. Like, I'm not saying that there isn't a time off or something, but I don't know. And we'll find out something. Maybe there's something very traumatic that went on with him. I don't know. We're not sure. But I just
tomato.
I mean, he's still got a job that like. Can you raise your hand in the chat if you're allowed to just not go to work tomorrow? I'm having a tough time at home. I'm stressed out.
Exactly.
Like if there's a death in the family, something like that, sure. But like CJ Stroud crying like a baby on the field when Tank Dell tears his knee, I just think we're getting a little soft. I know. It's not what everybody wants to hear.
Well, I'll share this and I'll hang up. I'll share this in the person. So September 30th, my younger brother dies of a heart attack on the way to see my nephew's football game.
That's horrible.
But
horrible.
In that, it's like I have to keep things moving. Why? I have responsibilities. I don't punch a clock. I'm entrepreneur. So in that environment, who knows how one pushes through or what happens.
And everybody handles everything differently. And again, like I did preface any death to a very, very immediate family member, I can understand needing to step away from anything for a couple weeks. That is a totally acceptable situation. So if we find out Bucky lost his mom or his dad and he needed a week or two, totally understandable. Like I totally understandable. But if this like I'm stressed out because of this recovery, like I'm not okay with that. I'm sorry. I'm just not. or
Well,
hey,
yeah, I mean,
the
listen,
pressures of the NFL are getting to me. All the pressures
listen,
of this
I
are
just said
getting
the
to me.
same
I'm
thing.
not okay with that.
I mean, look, I just said the same thing, and I'm not in the NFL. I lost my brother, but I have to keep it moving. I mean, not that I'm not grieving, whatever, but not to even get that deep. But the point is, in terms of if there is, and that was the case, and he is out on the field, we don't know until we know. I
Yeah.
mean, people will
I
go
get.
through and do whatever it is that they do.
I know some are saying
Tomatoes and tomatoes.
some are saying his
Yeah.
mentor died, and that's acceptable. Didn't I just say that? Isn't that what I just said, Bucky Believer, or whoever is questioning me? I just said, you said it's like his father figure. If his mother or father or very direct person to him passed away, he needs to take a couple weeks off. And I just said that. I just told you that. That's a totally acceptable situation. But
Well,
if even
yeah.
your dog passed away or something, you got to go to work. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Or you're
I know
stressed
I
out
do.
because the pressures of the league. No one's got the luxury to just take off like that. But if it's an immediate relative that passed away, and let's say it was everyone's saying maybe his mentor passing away is what causes, he's close to his mentor. It was like a father figure. That's what Bucky's saying in the chat. That is what I just said. That if that's happening, that is acceptable. That is understandable. Take off some time. But all I'm saying is, like, when we start talking about, like, everybody should just be able to walk away from anything at any moment, like, because they're stressed or something. Like, that's all I'm saying. I don't know. It's a controversial topic. I don't mean to get into it. I'm merely saying, everybody. The reason I even got on it is because people were telling me that Bucky should be able to just, like, without even knowing the details, like, you should let him be. He's like, he's walking away from the game. like why are we okay with that unless we know what's going on? I'm just saying, I want to know, and I don't think Florio or Barber seem to know anything, because I think whatever they're reacting to is already gone over with and done, because Bucky's back on the field. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, that's wild. Now, the thing is, Florio is insulated. Barber's not. I'll leave it at that. Woody, from tonight, in terms of, having started him, I know I did, and his production or lack of, I started him over Charbonnet, a couple of others along those lines. But he had, 16 touches last week? It wasn't much yardage, but a lot of activity. So I do think that he'll have the main RB position there. But I do like the idea that he can run between the tackles. We know he can catch. He can be a good value from a PPR standpoint. But to be able to run between the tackles, that's just added value. And I'll leave you with that.
All right.
Best show on the planet, man.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
DJ. Appreciate it. Oh, I don't know. Let me get these 3 super chats out, then over to Travis. I had already asked for a prize money advance when I drafted for Bucky and Jamar Chase. I have London, Chase Brown, Mahomes, Ibuka, Bowers, and Genty. Marquez, you've definitely been hit, but your team still looks good. I still have faith in the team, but 5 and 6, Allen, Bijan, Bucky, the winter. So let's see, Sharbs, Olave, Wilson, Hawkinson, Brissett, the Brisket, RJ. Trade a player or keep them. I mean, as I've said, I would definitely move Bucky for Dowdle if it's at all possible anymore. Probably isn't anymore. At 5 and 6, you probably should have moved Bucky 2-3 weeks ago, like we've been talking about it, week in and week out, day in and day out, hour in and hour out. Like, 5 and 6 is not a sustainable record for somebody that's missing ambiguous amounts of time with no end in sight. So today's news does not help you get rid of him. That was 100% the move. Now, can you throw in Olave or Michael Wilson to kickstart some interest in Bucky? Maybe. So try for Dowdle, try for Henry, try for potentially even Barkley straight up for Bucky. If you can get something like that done, it's a smart move. a very smart move. If I've got to throw in Michael Wilson, I throw in Michael Wilson. If I've got to throw in Brissett, you throw Brissett the hell into the deal. Go to QB needy teams, see if Brissett and Olave can potentially lure someone into taking Bucky. But Bucky might be your hindrance here. I'm not saying he doesn't come back next week. I still am very much on the fence of whether I believe a single lick of this information. But you have to take it in because, like we said at the top of the show, like Travis said, like I've said, where there's smoke, there's usually some sort of fire. But is it a small fire? Is it a fire that can be put out? Is it a fire that was put out last week? And Florio and Rondé are talking about something that's not even in play anymore. Because why is Bucky on the field? If he was taking time off, why is he on the field? Doesn't make any sense. Hey, pal, you're about this close from getting removed from the channel. Don't speak about that situation that way, bro. Okay, look, there's some respect that needs to go on for mental health. Let me make that abundantly clear. You know, there are people that are struggling with stuff, and I understand that. There's a big difference in whether I think everybody should be able to you know, this even goes back to like the NBA, load management, not being tough, like load management. That's all I'm saying. When there's an actual reason that you need to step away or there's a true mental health situation going on, I agree. I just feel like a lot of people are gravitating toward that or defending something without even knowing if the person's going through something. Like, he deserves to go off. We just don't know what the situation is. If someone loses a close family member, direct family member, they every right, they should be able to take off whatever they need to get back. I mean, that's got to be that's the worst thing that someone can probably go through, period, is losing a direct loved one. That's awful. That is absolutely awful. But there's also the whole thing of like, I don't even want to get into it anymore. Because all we end up doing is people twisting it up or hearing what they want to hear. You know, I start talking about CJ Stroud crying on the field and saying how I don't think that's tough. And then it's like, wait, he's his best friend. He should be able to take off 2 weeks. That's the difference. That's what I'm talking about. That I don't like. Something else different. Memberships are like crazy. We got Get Wrecked dropping 5. Demo dropping 5. We got Get Wrecked dropping another 5. Thank you, boys, for doing that. We got Demo dropping 5. I think Get Wrecked and Demo are having a little match, 5 versus 5, back and forth, crossing streams over and over and over. I don't know.
I won't address anyone directly, but anyone in the chat who thinks they're blocked, they're not getting blocked. YouTube is blocking their messages from coming through.
Yeah. You guys use
not even the mod, not us.
You guys can't speak the way you're speaking in the chat. Of the algorithm's going to grab it and quarantine your message.
We're gifted. Memberships.
Get Wrecked, 10 gifted memberships. He's coming through strong. Again, just I don't want to talk about the mental health stuff anymore. It is a very important thing in this world that people are in a good place. Look at the kneeling thing. That's an awful situation, and nobody speak ill about that situation because that's an awful situation. That the poor guy was going through something. You can say whatever negative thing you want about it. Just keep it to yourself. Okay, he was going through something. He deserved to have more help. Maybe he didn't tell anybody. And those are the kind of things that I think people need to, more awareness needs to be made about that. Someone's struggling, there should be places that people can go for that. That's 100% the case. That is a completely different thing than we're talking about right here. And, prayers up to that guy and his family. As for like taking time off, we don't know what Bucky's situation is. We got rumors, we got his, we got Bucky Believer talking about, this tweet and that tweet. Look, all the tweets are out there. I've seen all these tweets. That's what I said when it first started. There's tweets going like this. One going that way, one going that way. Everybody's got a story to tell. Everybody's got clicks that they want views that they want. Everybody's trying to say that Bucky needs to sit out because of this or sit out because of that. We don't know what in the hell is going on. So the truth is nobody knows, and even these beat writers don't know. Justin Jefferson, playoff schedule going up. Trade for him, Jack says. Jack, he's a good buy low. He's a guy I'd take for Bucky straight up right now, almost in any situation. And he has his pros and cons. His cons are clearly his quarterback situation. But JG drops 25 points this week. Can I get a sticker? Remind me, Jack. Let's if he scores 2 touchdowns or 150 and a touch, I'll definitely send you one. But remind me. Got Rice, JMO, MHJ. Nuts to drop DJ Moore for Godwin. I wouldn't say either one is crazy, to be honest. And Scotty with the super chat. Scotty says, hey, Smitty, trading Nico, Jalen Warren for Rico. Nico, Jalen Warren for Rico. I'm fine with that. I like Rico more. And Nico, his situation's volatile. He got banged up again today. He got back into the game, but he seems like a really injury-prone player, and it always scares me. I'd rather have Rico. Definitely rather have Rico. Mahomes, JSN, like your team a lot. Your team looks really good. All right, Travis, what else you got? Anything else on the Bucky situation? If anybody's tired of hearing about this, we got 800 people in here, roughly. Some people are saying, you're going in circles. You're talking about, this is a pretty big topic, and we're all trying to make sense of it, and no one has any information, so the best we can do is speculate on maybe what's going on. That's it. That's all we got. All we got's each other. Right now, anyway. I wish I had information, but I don't. And anybody pretending they have it, they don't have it. They don't have it.
I think the biggest thing is to not panic either way. It's a top 5 running back we're talking about. And, everything is context matters when it comes to your record and your team. But aside from that, you have to know what to do with your team, but don't panic selling them. Don't panic overbuying them either. You just got to be wait for more to come out before you do anything crazy. Yeah.
I will say that Sean Tucker value to the mother freaking moon. Anybody that's got Tucker right now, and again, not to say anything negative about the Bucky situation at all, because I'm not insinuating I want Bucky to miss time. But as we chew gum and walk at the same time, we are looking at a situation where if Sean Tucker does become the starter and is trending in that way, could Rachaad White still be involved? Sure. But if Sean Tucker gets the starting job, if he gets the Bucky role, and not even that, maybe more than the Bucky role, because he's such a hard-nosed runner, probably gets more up-the-gut work, I think we're going to see Sean Tucker be the guy that I just described like last week, the week before, that comes kind of out of nowhere, the league winner, the waiver wire gem of the year, but has that strong finish at the end of a year that is like a 3-4 shot game of 2-3-4 shot game of glory, and it confuses the hell out of 2026 fantasy football. You won't know where to rank them. You won't know what to do. You won't know what to make sense of a short little season. It's going to be just a little shot of glory. Garendo, Mason were kind of players of the past that did that as well. Sean Tucker is somebody we talked about for a while now, and he's just a fantastic ad. If anybody has him in a league, you're looking at maybe a league-winning monster if Bucky does not return. But again, the facts are the facts. The facts are that Bucky is going through walkthroughs, not parallel with the news that we're hearing from Florio and Barber. Unless maybe this stuff kind of unveiled itself after the last practice that happened, and he was faking it till he could make it, as far as he could, and then he went into the coach's office after practice and said, Coach, I can't do it. Like something like that could have happened maybe. But other than that, how can he be headed toward taking time off for mental health or something if he's out there going through the motions? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
And if you look at the schedule, just from a fantasy standpoint, they have the Rams this week, but after that it's Arizona, which is a pretty easy matchup, New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, and Miami. So pretty favorable schedule down the stretch.
Yeah. All right. Let me see if there's any others. 2 super chats here. This one from Adam. Adam says, you were in on Sean Tucker since before his rookie year. Thank you, pal. Appreciate it. We were there when he was born. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you. Smitty 9-2, 1 PPR redraft. Trade Bucky and AJB for Judkins and Waddle. Bucky and AJB for Judkins and Waddle. Wow. You couldn't get two more shaky players at their position. Bucky and then AJB. Judkins' team is shaky. I like him. Waddle's team is shaky. I like Waddle. I've always liked Waddle. I just hate his situation. I even hated his situation when Tyreek was there. I still don't love him. Or Zay. I like Waddle over Zay. Drop Fannin or Pitts for Strange. I'd probably say, I mean, I don't, those are all really even. I'd say trust your gut.
Njoku might be out this week, so
yeah,
if you need a tight end this week,
Fannin
be a good play.
Fannin is really good. Rome says Josh Allen sucks. That's not true, bro. It's fake news. Parker Washington or Booty rest of season. I don't know. Parker Washington didn't really do what everyone wanted him to do, but maybe he does this week. I kind of think Booty, if he gets back fully healthy, and he seems to be, is going to be a very, very solid wide receiver 4 that can sub as wide receiver 3 during bye weeks and injuries and be a very effective player. So I'm going to lean Booty. He really was coming on strong before he got injured. So
yeah,
I'm going to lean that way. Well, prayers up for Bucky, whatever he's going through. If it is something mental and there's a reason for it, like I said, if it is in fact the passing of his mentor that was like a father figure, like Bucky, like Bucky Believer in the chat said, then it's understandable that he went through something, especially during an injury, and he missed a week or two longer than he should have because he lost a father figure. Like that's understandable. People go, I mean, that's a hard thing to do. Imagine losing somebody that close to you. You need a week or two or whatever. Now, anything else I can't speak to, anything else I don't know. And the fact that he's on the field, I don't, like Travis said, freaking out, overreacting, don't overreact. Buy him really low on a freak out Freddy situation. Hold him when no one will give you crap for him, and sell him if you can get a Rico, an Adams, a Nico off a bad game, even though he's, a questionable player to hold, but damn much better, safer option than Bucky right now. Go get one of those players. Buka, Rice. Give up a little more to get Rice. Give up a little more to get Buka. Trade for Dowdle straight up. Give a little more to get Dowdle. Trade for Henry or Barkley straight up. There's a plethora of options for you if you can still trade. Now, if you can't trade anymore, you're stuck. You're stuck. And I don't know what to tell you other than to go dig into the waiver wire. Try and do your best. See if Tootin's out there. So,
got get wrecked and Demo facing off on the memberships again.
Jeez, man, what are they doing out there? Get wrecked 5. Demo dropping another 5. We got 5 from Get Wrecked. We got another 10 from Demo. Demo dropping 10 there. Another 10 from Get Wrecked. We just got another 5 drop from Demo. They're just going at it. I don't know which one's leading. I don't know. I'm not sure. We can kind of tell. We just go to the ranking and see what the ranking said. The ranking on the show. Let me see if I can find that. Is the crown thing not in the chat right now?
Oh no. I see it up top.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, top.
That's
thing.
weird.
It
seemed like it. Yeah, maybe they don't count the gifted, I guess.
Oh, they don't? That's weird. Jack is the top guy, Daniel, and then Apocalypse. But Demo and Get Wrecked are just going crazy in the chat right now. Demo dropping another one. All right, well, Smitty 9-2, 1 PPR redraft. Trade Bucky and AJB for Judkins, Waddle. Travis, what are you doing on this one?
Was it Bucky and AJB for Judkins, Waddle? Man.
Cat, vote on that one, please.
It would depend if he needs the depth. I'd do it, but if he's okay at 9-2, I can see waiting for Bucky to have that depth. But I mean, Judkins and Waddle are 2 good pieces if they need it.
Guys, thank Get Wrecked and Demo if you get it gifted. Guys, can you vote on this one, please? Judkins and Waddle or AJB Bucky? I think I would just say, I can't wait on Bucky when Judkins is my alternative. Like, that's a nice alternative. Great schedule. And Waddle AJB is so damn close. I'm fine with just leaning toward the players that are there playing football. You know what you're getting. Maybe 2 weeks from now you regret it, but at least you've gotten maybe a chance to get 2 W's, you know. If it doesn't matter, I mean, you could wait. I mean, if it doesn't matter to you, if you've got 8 wins, you're coasting, yeah, you could wait. But I think I'd lean Judkins
right now,
in the vacuum.
If I counted right, I think Demo's got 50 and Get Wrecked got 40. 90.
Okay. Nice job, boys.
I believe.
Nice job, boys. Sent my buddy 2 trades. Is the Blind Swordsman still out there? I don't know if the Swordsman's still there, but appreciate him if he's out there. Swordsman, let us know if you're out there. Sent my buddy 2 trades, Bucky for Hampton and Bucky for Harvey. Woo! That's a tough one. I mean, Hampton, I'd take that. I think Hampton's coming back. And so I'm okay with that one. The Harvey one, it's not that I don't like it in passing, but I feel like you need to be more crafty with it because I feel like the fair market value is he called you and said he called and said you sure you want this because if you were anyone else, I'd take it and run. My buddy, what? He called and said, you sure you want this? Because if you were anyone else, I'd take it and run. Sent my buddy.
Saying it's not a good deal.
Well, so I think what he's talking about is the Harvey one, bro. The Hampton one's very arguable. Chad, am I right? You'd take Hampton over Bucky with today's news? Or would you just say I'm still holding strong and taking the gamble? You're not wrong either way. I just want to know what side you take. But Harvey's not worth Bucky right now because his fair market value isn't there. I love Harvey still, but you can get so much more than Harvey in this trade probably. So that's what your buddy's probably saying. So do the Hampton trade, but I'd take the other one down or add a lot to it. My Nico for Harvey and Diggs, I would rather have Nico. But I do really like Harvey, and I do really like Diggs. Diggs looks really good right now, but I don't think I'm trading Nico Collins off of one bad game. Nico, the week prior, at 100 yards, and what a touch as well. And then the week prior to that, just 100 yards, I think. I forget. Wasn't it back-to-back 100 games, one of them with the touchdown before this game? I think Nico was
who was it?
Nico.
Nico, yeah.
I mean, he's been going crazy. You can't trade Nico because of one game. I feel like everybody's so 1 week reactive. It's wild to me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, he had 90 and a touch, and then 136. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
75 the week before. And look at the targets the past 4 weeks were 10, 11, 15, 10. No, this was just one of those odd games.
Yeah. London MHJ out. London MHJ out trade. Out trade? What? Daniel, you're not proofreading, my boy. London MHJ out trade Chase Brown for Harvey and Adunze. London MHJ out trade Chase Brown for Harvey and Adunze. I don't know what in the hell you're talking about.
So, I know. London and MHJ are out. So he's asking if you should trade Brown for Harvey and Adunze. I don't know what the two have.
Use up punctuation, Daniel. At this late in the night, I'm just gonna read your run-on sentence, and I don't know where to stop it.
Single period.
Yeah, it's just a little punctuation, bro. Just a little bit. You can even do a dash. A dash is the same character space as the space. You can just do dash connected to trade. Out hyphen trade. And give me something. Although I'll probably read it like out trade. I'd still read out trade. I don't know. Comma. How about a comma without a space? Do that. That would be very, very good. Very useful. Trade Chase Brown 4. You could use the number 4 there. Gets you 2 extra characters for Harvey and Adunze. trade Chase Brown for Harvey and Odunze? I would say no. I still want Chase Brown. Start 1, Parker Washington, Yoshi Voss, Slayton, or Burden. I'm going to go Burden because I'm crazy, bro. But it is a high-risk, high-reward proposition. See week 16 and 17 for Bijan versus Jefferson Rico. Hold Bijan, no. I mean, Bijan's got a great final week, no doubt. But you also got to get there, bro. So I would rather have Jefferson and Rico, personally. But I love Bijan. But you got to get there. You got to get through everything. Manungai and Tootin are on waivers. Woo! I'm going to go after Tootin. And who knows, he's banged up right now, but Tootin might be taking the job at some point real soon. And maybe he doesn't, but if he does, it's game on. See week 16 and 17, Bijan. Oh, I just did that one. And then must-win game, flex-worthy, Christian Watson or Booty. I'd probably go, Travis, you going Worthy or Watson? Or Booty?
Watson has been decent.
Yeah, he's
pretty. Watson's the safest.
Yeah, I'd probably lean on the hot hand. I mean, he's been good for a couple of games now too, so I'd probably lean on the hot hand. QB question: have been using Danny Dimes and Bo all year. Well, Bo's number 6, so you've been getting top 6 quarterback numbers if you've been using Bo all year. You might have been calling it wrong. Then picked up Jaden Daniels on off IR and added Burrow. Can you imagine? At the end of the year, or at the beginning of the year, I say I'm from the future. Thank you, Get Wrecked and the Demo. You guys are monsters. Imagine if I was, hey Smitty, this is Smitty from the future. Make sure you don't forget to pick up JD5 and Burrow off waivers, and so you can start them after you use Danny Dimes. In a rotation with Bo Nix. I would have been like, bro, what world are you from? You're from the wrong Spider-Verse, bro. What are you doing? Who to trade and who to keep? Honestly, you keep the player that gets you you trade the player that gets you the most value if you're trying to make a trade, because beggars can't be choosers. Not everybody wants Dimes. Not everybody wants Bo Nix. Not everybody wants JD5. More people will want Burrow, so you either bank on Bo and Dimes and trade Burrow on the high. And maybe Burrow takes some time getting back. Maybe he's rusty. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But I feel like you could go get something solid with Burrow. You could go get a JJ, a Buka, a Rice, a Dowdle, a Henry, a Barkley. Tons of players available, I think, for Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow. JD5, I bet you no one pays the price, the Piper. I don't think anybody's going to give you as much as you think for JD5 right now. Nico for Judkins and Diggs. I'd rather have Nico. Who to get for London or hold? I'd trade London for Dowdle, London for Barkley, London for Henry, London for Javante, London for obviously Jacobs, but probably won't get that. Yeah, you could try. London for Hall. Wide receiver shopping, London for Adams, London for Buka, Rice, Pickens. I'll take Pickens over London. It is what it is. Hopefully Bucky's back, man. Demo dropping another 5. Right after Get Wrecked drop. I think his last one was 5. Jeez. I don't know the answer, guys. In some total summary, final conclusion, we have learned nothing tonight. We've talked for an hour and 48 minutes. Some of you say we've gone in circles, but what else you got going on tonight? It's not like I said we come in here with concrete information. We don't have anything. I said it from the jump. We don't know anything. We're speculating. We have no information whatsoever. All we know is that Bucky is at walkthroughs, walking through practice, not taking hits, probably missing this week. And unless there's some new news about a close family member dying, and for good reason, he would have to have mental issues on that and need some time. Everybody's, I think, in agreement there. That is a big deal. If someone's losing a parent or a direct family member, everybody grieves differently. We don't know if that's what's going on. Is it something related to potentially, props? Is it something related to other disciplinary action? Did he do something wild? I can't imagine. He's such a calm dude, very positive dude, dropping Bible verses and scripture in his Instagram posts and stories constantly, talking about love. I highly doubt he walked into Bowles' office and dropped a deuce on the desk or something. I don't think we're looking at anything weird. I think this has to do with either his injury, but I believe it's all reactionary from something that they're late on. I don't think, unless Bucky walked into Bowles' office after today and said, "I'm done," that would be different. But I don't get that sense. Travis, anything else?
There was another.
Go ahead.
There was another Bucks account, like another Bucks fan account thing or whatever. Someone who writes a lot about the team. I don't know how connected they are, but they were saying this is something older that they had heard about before, but had chose not to write about. So, take it with a grain of salt, but that seems to be the narrative building off of it.
I kind of knew it.
From before.
I'm a Bucks Twitter page, and I have information. Let me just tell you guys, I know what they're talking. I'm on the inside of this thing. I know what they're talking about right now. I too have this information, and I'll just say this: I can't talk about it. Me and I know I'm 21 years old in my mom's basement. They got me on a Zoom calls. I'm on the Zoom calls talking with the organization and the beat writers. We're in the inner circle. The leadership is getting together. I'm part of it. And I'm telling you, from my mom's basement, I swear, I've got information. I can't go over it right now. But once it's revealed, you'll know that I know that I knew that they knew that I knew that you knew that I knew what was really going on. That's what it is. Trust me, bro called me personally. The phone rang. I picked it up. Trust me, bro said, "Hey, Smitty, it's Trust Me, bro. Hey, Trust Me, bro, what's going on?" Well, I heard from somebody that there's something going on about something. Oh, my God. Can I talk about it? Well, just don't tell them it came from me. What can I say? You can tell them you know something. Okay, tell them I know something, but that's all I can tell them. Yeah, you better not tell them anything else about what you don't know, because I didn't tell you anything else, or we're not talking anymore. Done deal, but you'll let me leak this? Yes, sir. Okay, are you a rat because you're leaking this information to me? Kind of. Okay, no problem. I'll still be friends with you. Thank you. It's a wild world we live in. Nobody's got a journalism degree. No one's done radio. No one's done any sort of writing for an NFL publication or interned for a while for some well-known news source or Twitter source that was considered news. Nobody's got a journalism degree anymore. No one. Journalism degrees don't mean anything. You don't got to go to school for this anymore. You don't need to do radio for years. You don't need anything. You can just pretend to be a source. I am a source. I'm a news aggregate. I built a Twitter page in my mom's basement, and all of a sudden it had 100,000 followers. I don't know how. Good graphics. Now I'm a news source. I'm gonna put in my title. I'm a news writer. I'm an analyst.
It's kind of lame how Florio did too. The whole I'll tell you off the video when we go offline. It's just kind of lame.
Yeah. Hey, Travis, we can't talk about this in front of the YouTube followers right now. When the show ends, we'll talk more about this. But right now, this is private. I mean, imagine if Travis called up and said, "Smitty, I got some breaking news." I'm like, "What is it, Travis?" "I'm going to tell you that I can't tell you. I'll talk to you offline. I'm not allowed to tell the followers and the viewers right now."
Top secret.
DMO, thank you for dropping the gifted memberships. Thank you, Get Wrecked. You guys did a good job today. Good work. Good day's work, both of you. Both of you young men. Yeah, Smitty, I have connections. It's just like the Deshaun Watson trade. I talk about this a lot, where he was supposed to go to the Falcons. You guys remember Deshaun Watson's trade before he went to the Browns, and the Browns gave up the world and made the worst trade ever, and then gave Deshaun Watson the worst contract ever. Although, I don't know, maybe Kirk Cousins has topped that. especially like the way the
Wilson
Falcons.
was pretty bad.
Russell Wilson's is bad, but anyway, the worst trade and contract in conjunction with each other. When Watson got traded, the rumor was the Falcons were getting him, and that was just logic. And these Twitter guys went out and they go, I've got a source. It's going to be announced within 6 hours. And that was a good guesstimation of when the news was probably going to break. And everybody kept claiming they had this and that. These pages, they're just Twitter accounts. They've got nothing. No one's calling them for nothing. No one's calling me. No one's calling anybody. I'm not going to get, I've broken one piece of news in my 22-decade professional career. I've had one piece of news ever ahead of other people from somebody that I knew that was very connected to the Michael Turner trade. And I knew he was getting traded. And guess what? The trade didn't get executed in time, and he ended up not getting traded. Anybody remember that trade? Wasn't he traded to the Titans? I think it was the Titans. I remember it was so many years. Michael Turner was traded, I believe, to the Titans. Or was it from the Titans to the... What was it? I forget where it was.
He was with San Diego, right? Or was it after that?
Yeah. Michael Turner.
He went from San Diego to Atlanta.
Right, but he was traded. He was getting traded, I believe, to the Titans. And they couldn't pull the trade off. They were like 20 minutes late. And so the news that I had that he was getting traded, it was announced he was going to the Titans, but then it was like the trade didn't get done in time. The league wouldn't approve it. He's not going to the Titans. I think it was the Titans, and that was in 2007. So he ended up playing for the Chargers for one more year in 2007, and then went to the Falcons in 2008. But I had that information, and that's the only time I was ever privy to anything. And you're telling me these Twitter guys that don't have a degree or any sort of radio experience or any sort of writing experience, you just got their little Twitter accounts. You're telling me that they're the ones getting this breaking news all the time? It's amazing. And you go reading the comments and people are like, oh, wow, how'd you hear this one? All right, well, get ready for it. It's like everyone's just buying into it. But anyways, when the Falcons trade happened, or the Deshaun Watson Falcons trade almost went down, there are people that put their life on the line practically. And then all of a sudden it went sideways on them and everybody looked like fools. And then they just blamed it on, the trade offer came in that was just better. And they all look like fools. And then there's that photo of let me see if I can find the image of it. Let's see here if I can get on X and find it. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. Pool table. Falcons. Let me see if I can find the tweet. It's so funny. it's hilarious. I don't know. It's probably going to be hard to find. Let me see, because there's so much other Deshaun Watson stuff out there. It's a photo. I'm trying to find it on Twitter specifically. It's a photo of him by a pool table holding up a Browns jersey. And in I think the right corner pocket is a Falcons jersey crumbled up and shoved in the pocket. Deshaun Watson, Falcons jersey, pool table. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know, damn it. I'll try and find it on the way out the door, but it's a funny image. But people were so upset because they literally put the reps on the line. They're like, I have insider information that this trade is done. They're just waiting to announce it. They've gone through they've dotted all the I's and crossed the T's, and they're just finalizing the contract right now. And then boom. I'll try and find it later. All right, Travis, anything else?
Yeah, you're right, too. It was the Titans with Michael Turner. But someone was asking earlier, I just figured I'd ask you, would you trade Bijan for JSN right now?
I don't think anybody could get JSN for Bijan. So if he can get that, he should take it and run. JSN might get drafted. JT, like moving forward, it'd be like JT, Gibbs, CMC, JSN, like in not in any particular order, but those would be like the top 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Travis, anything else?
Nope. Thanks,
All
man.
right,
I appreciate
I'll
it.
see you tomorrow, bro. Later.
Bye.
Yeah, that image. I was trying to find the tweet specifically, though. But that image was so funny. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you especially to DMO and Demo and also Get Wrecked. Appreciate you guys very, very much. George, tighten up. Yeah, you almost saw Michael Turner, bro. It was announced that the trade was happening, and then they pulled the trigger like 20 minutes late. And everyone's like, did he get traded or did he not? So he was being, like, it was very widely known, and I did break. He's being traded to the Titans. But back then, in 2007, you're talking about, like, iPhones were you know, I think iPhones were barely invented that year, right? You're talking about social media was not even the same. So it's like I wrote it on an article, and then the Google, search would find it, and people would find my article. That was social media. That was it. It was send it out to your forum and your email list. There was no social media really at that point. Bijan, Lamar, Rico, and that was YouTube was just getting invented for the first time too. YouTube wasn't even there. It was there, but it wasn't bought by Google yet or anything. Rico, so when I say that I've only done videos since 2018, not entirely true, because when YouTube's first year, I was a part of their, like, they were so small. Let me just put this in perspective. YouTube reached out to me and 5 or 6 other fantasy football content creators, because there weren't a lot out there. There was like 20 to 30 content creators in 2007. There were not very many people. There were literally, like, Matthew Berry was one of them. He had talented Mr. Roto. There was like literally like 25 to 30 of us creating fantasy football content. They reached out to about 5 to 7 people, and they said, we saw that you made a video, because video, people like camcorders, you record it on a camcorder and have to upload it into the computer, download everything. It took forever. You'd have dropping frames when you try and record video. It was awful to make video back then. But they approached me and they said, would you like to be a part of the start bench, like, environment for YouTube? And so YouTube put me on the homepage of YouTube for that 2000, I want to say it's 2008. In 2008. So every Sunday morning, I was on YouTube's homepage with a video. And do you know how many views I got per video while being on YouTube's homepage? A couple hundred. It wasn't the amount of views I get in one video now, by far and away trump what the views were on YouTube's homepage on a suggested portion back then in 2008. It was very, very minute. It was crazy how different it was, because nobody, and I forget how the YouTube homepage would suggest it. If you were, it might have catered potentially to your search, maybe, so it might not have shown to every single sports person. But not many people were searching for fantasy football content at all, so it wasn't triggering any views. But it was crazy. I was getting 200, 300, maybe 400 views of video, and I was on YouTube's mother freaking homepage every Sunday morning in 2008. But it was so small. It was so much smaller than. So I quit doing video because there was no interest in fantasy football videos back then. Like, if you remember when Howard Stern went from audio to video, there was a certain time frame where people were like, why would I watch the Howard Stern show? And just like somebody said when they invented the remote control for the TV, they're like, why would I need a remote control when I can just get up and change the channel? There's 3 and there's 5 and 12. Like, I'm not going to change. Like, the invention of putting a podcast in video format was crazy. What am I going to watch a bunch of people talk? I don't need that. I'll just listen to it. So nobody wanted to watch fantasy football content. There wasn't graphics or any ability to do that. There was no live streaming. It was all uploads, and it was crazy, man. It was crazy back in the day. Jamar, Hendy, and Quinshawn Judkins for Saquon Jefferson and Kamara. I'd probably say give me the Jamar side, my boy. Thank you, Legend, for that. Real quickly, call. Oh, this is Travis. Travis, what's up? You're live.
I found the picture. I sent it to you if you want to pull it up. Sean Watson one.
Thank you for the gifted mentions. Which one?
The Sean Watson one with the Falcons jersey. I sent it to you.
Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So he's got all the different colored jerseys on the. It wasn't a pool table. It was what do you call it? Oh no, the jerseys were on the pool table, but the jersey was in. Yeah. So in the back, what do they call that? Foosball. So the jerseys are right here on the pool table, but then the foosball table in the back, you can see there's the Falcons jersey crumbled up and thrown in the corner. It's the funniest thing in the world. And all these people were so upset. They put their whole reputation on the line. Smitty the plug? I don't know what that means, George. It's late. I'm trying to put that together. I don't know. Rico's JJ week 15 bye locked in. Rico, Seattle, JJ, Detroit with week 15 bye locked in. I'm not sitting Rico personally. Or no, I'm sorry, Bijan up there. Bijan. Yeah, I'm not sitting Bijan. Am I choosing one? Let me rank them. Bijan, Rico, JJ in that order. I don't know how that helps you, but I just wanted to rank them. I don't know which one you need, but you can't sit Bijan. I didn't see Bijan until the last second there. Need a tight end for Gadsden's bye. Fannin, Chigakonkwo, Taylor. I mean, if Njoku sits like Travis said earlier, right, Fannon's the play. But I guess I would say like Taylor. I don't know. I don't like Chigakonkwo and Taylor at all. So I'd almost say like look for another tight end. But
I think Fannin could be good with Shedeur too. There's obvious risk there.
Yeah, but I'd start Fannin.
They played together a lot in the preseason. You know.
Yeah, even if like Njoku played, I think in that situation I'm still playing Fannin. Not that there might not be a better option. Like Loveland could be better. Juwan Johnson, Schultz would have been someone I considered. In all honesty, London Fortet got wrecked. So it looks like he got got rejected. I thought you were saying you got wrecked tonight. Like you got the gifted membership. I got wrecked, by the way. Anybody that got a gifted membership from Wrecked, you got wrecked. Anybody that got one from Demo, you got demoed. Let us know which one it was. London Fortet, I would probably rather... It got rejected, okay. London and JJ for Puka, too much. What do you think, Travis? London and JJ for Puka, too much? I don't think so.
No.
I think I take...
it.
Get wrecked. Get demoed. Demolished.
Yeah, they were like 140, almost 150 gifted memberships.
Wow. Great job, you guys. Standing ovation on that one.
Mashed potatoes!
That's awesome, bro. London for... Okay, so got that one. Thank you very much for that. I take Puka. Chat, we like Puka, right, on that? Yeah, take Puka. Puka. Superflex traded Kamara, Sutton, and A-Rod for Saquon, Jameson, Williams. League wants a veto. I hate vetoes, bro. Superflex traded Kamara, Sutton, and A-Rod for Saquon and Jameson, Williams. I don't even know how you can tell somebody they can't want. Like, what if you want Kamara? What if you think Kamara is going to have a great finish? He's got a good schedule for the most. Like, who's to say you can't, as a grown man or a grown woman or a grown person, you can't say I want Kamara and Sutton and I want them now. And I think Saquon, with the injured line and all the negativity going on in Philly, it's going to crumble. He's going to get hurt. Like, what makes you think you can't? That's ridiculous. Assad, I wouldn't play in that league anymore. That's you can't even make your own decisions. They want to hold your hand. And what happens when they hold your hand and then your team plays worse? They're like, well, sorry about that. Are they going to give you your money back? I think if someone's involved in a veto, this would be great. If you participate in a veto and it's proven that the veto made the person lose money, you all have to pay their money. Then no one's vetoing nothing. Lamar, Stafford, JJ, that's a good idea, isn't it? Moore, Worthy, Wilson, Jacobs, Manungai, Tucker, Corum, 8-3. Somehow team sucks. I don't know, man. I guess, the running backs are. I mean, Garrett Wilson's tough to hang on to, tough to trade. You can't sell any of these guys high, unfortunately. There's not much you can do. Maybe Jacobs coming off of the injury is hard to sell, but maybe because he's back. I don't know. I probably just say stand down more than anything. You got Lamar, you got JJ, you got Jacobs, you got potentially Tootin. I don't think you're going to get 2-for-1s with Jacobs and JJ that are worthy of doing it. I don't think it's smart. And Lamar, no one's trading for Lamar, and I like Lamar a lot. This is a tough team, I'm not going to lie, but could it crawl past? I mean, you'd need to have Aaron Jones play or Tootin play really good down the stretch, or Manungai take over or something through an injury. And maybe Worthy would have to step up, or Garrett Wilson come back and do well. But those are possible. I just think there's not a lot of trade potential there at all. You'd just be making your situation worse. I got wrecked. BJ for Rico and JJ. Or Bijan. I feel like we've answered this like 5 times. For week 16, 17 only. I mean, you're trying to put me in a box here. And trying to get me to answer something that I don't know is the most sound way to look at it. But, I mean, I'll look at it, I guess. So, JJ, I don't know their schedules off the top of my head in week 16 and 17, at least for JJ. Justin Jefferson has Giants and Detroit. Love it. I mean, Washington, Dallas, Giants, Detroit is fantastic. I do like that. And I mean, I'm already taking Rico and JJ anyway. JJ's schedule is glorious, man. Rico Dowdle, he's kind of situation proof, my boy. I mean, he can catch the damn ball as good as anybody. Seattle's a tough week 17, but I mean, it could be a really tough game where he's getting like 100 total yards and a touchdown. And Tampa Bay in week 16 is not bad at all. And Bijan, we all know he's got a pretty good schedule, but they're also maybe not fighting for anything in week 16 and 17. And the Rams are not an easy week 17 matchup. I know everyone says Bijan's got cakewalk schedule, but it's not really. I mean, Seattle in week 14. I know you're saying don't judge week 14, but week 16, Arizona and the Rams in week 17. I'm going to say I'm not changing my mind. Rico and JJ all day long. Final super chat of the evening. Thank you very much, Adam. Appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow at midnight. I'm sorry. We'll be back tomorrow probably in the early afternoon or morning, depending on the Bucky news or whatever the hell we have tomorrow. I have a feeling tomorrow we're going to have one or two breaking news shows before the 8 p.m. show. I just can feel it.
Yeah, Burrow too.
Yeah, Burrow. I mean, even if it's confirmation of Burrow, like he will start, we're going live on it. Bucky, if we get any sort of update at all, we're probably going live on it. I don't think we're waiting for any conclusion. Demo dropping 10 more gifted memberships on the way out the door. He says, you won't wreck me. You won't wreck did 5. Wreck did 5. Demo says you won't wreck me. Demoed. Demolished. Which side rest of the season, Bijan Tet or JSN Sharps? Probably Bijan Tet. I love JSN, but Bijan and JSN are still close enough, even though I'd take JSN over Bijan in the current state of things. Tet's a nice little addition. So, yeah, pretty easy. Also, Bucky or Hampton rest of season. I'm going to lean Hampton right now, but this could change 2 weeks from now, a week from now. Like next week, I might very well want Bucky. You've got to know that I've got to judge this from right now on. Right now on is different than next week on. So, yeah, I love the receivers, bro. Your receivers are off the mother freaking hook. So you get Hampton in here. I like it. I mean, there's still risk with Bucky either way. So I'd probably just say give me the Hampton side of things. Kyron Hampton, you'd be in pretty good shape, bro. I like that move. All right, Travis, anything else?
Yeah, just on JJ, I have all the concerns everyone else does. And, JJ McCarthy looks shaky. And so, I don't necessarily think he's going to be that, the elite guy we're used to. But I also don't want people to get too far to the other side either, because I noticed some of that where it's like people are almost writing him off like, oh, give him up for anything or don't consider him in this trade or whatever. So just kind of make sure you find a good balance on that, because he's still JJ at the end of the day.
Yeah. JJ's schedule is so nice. He will be probably
good.
Rico and JJ will probably be again tomorrow. Lamar, Rico, JJ. If I had to pick one player from each position, and we'll probably do a video on this tomorrow. JJ, Rico, Lamar, Bowers. And Bowers is somehow attainable again. I mean, it's the Raiders. The Raiders make it that way. All right. Thank you, Demo. Thank you, Get Wrecked. Thank you, all my super chatters. Thank you, Travis. We'll see you tomorrow, Travis.
Yeah, better.
Or on the Patreon even. All right. Probably on the Patreon. Is there someone on the phone line? Anybody else there? Hello? It says there was, but I don't think there was anybody. $20 haulers tonight. We had, what do we have? I feel like we had a $20 hauler. I forget. It's not showing up. All right, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Please get on over to the Patreon. The Patreon is 365 24/7. It's a live chat group. It's amazing. You guys need to be a part of it. We absolutely have a blast over there. Trade advice. Here's the link. Join the Patreon 24/7 live chat group. I'm going to pin that link. I think it's been pinned all show long, but this is a little more descriptive of a link. But hit that link right here. Let me see if I can click it one more time. Come on, man. All right, there we go. Pinned link. 24/7, 365. A lot of Dynasty content. Live streams inside Patreon exclusive. Not taking anything away from the YouTube channel, but there'll be some live exclusive stuff on the Patreon constantly. It's going to become the hub of nearly everything, like behind the scenes, letting you know about stuff before it happens. Don't forget to visit our sponsors down below, bentonprint.com, gunner.com, code Smitty, 10% off. Underdog, promo code Smitty, underdogfantasy.com, play 5, get 100. Fuego stickers, code Smitty, 10% off. Get your sticker needs handled. Benton Print, all your printing needs handled. The Fantasy Football Show will see you tomorrow. Appreciate every single one of you. Prayers up to Bucky. If he is going through anything, tough, we hope he's doing good. Either way. Sean Tucker season. Sean Tucker season might be upon us, and we're all... I smell meatloaf! Probably have a Sean Tucker video soon. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's a Bucky play. Maybe we, not to be like very disrespectful, but maybe it's an interchangeable Sean Tucker and Bucky button. Get tuckered. Don 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 don.